I'm a 30-year retiree postie. I suspect that most do not want to strike. The CUPW union used coercion and threats to force us out on strike. It's been announced that Canada Post is going on strike again. Here's a video from CTV News.
This happens every what? 2 weeks now? 3 weeks?
I checked. It's the third time in the past year that they're going on strike. Here is CTV News talking about the strike.
We'll begin with breaking news. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says on its website that its members at Canada Post are now on a nationwide strike. CUPW says it's in response to what it calls the government's attack on the postal service and workers. A union official tells CTV News things are happening in real time and that not all of its members have been informed yet of the strike, but adds it's coming. The announcement comes hours after the government announced it would phase out door-to-door mail delivery within a decade and slow the pace of letter delivery. The government says Canada Post loses $10 million a day and that it's seeing shrinking volumes of letter mail. It also blames stiff competition in the parcel delivery service.
The minister responsible for Canada Post came out today and said that over the next decade, they will basically phase out the door-to-door delivery. And they're saying to most houses, because obviously some of the houses will still get it depending where you're located. But like here, for example, where I am, they don't do door-to-door delivery. They have communal mailbox. And I'm in the city, right? They just have a massive mailbox and they deliver there, and every now and then you go check when you think your little locker's full of dumb shit that you never look at. So
basically, service will get worse because it's obviously better service to have it come straight to your house. Now you have to go down the block. So the service is getting shittier while they're getting paid more and more and more and racking up losses.
At the end of the day, I look at the shape of people. I am happy that they have to walk a block to go get their mail. So I'm always happy to see them outside exercising. Like,
yeah, at least they're getting the rest.
The daily exercise. Yeah. But in all seriousness, though, here are the numbers. So since 2008, Canada Post has lost over $5 billion. Last year, it's lost $1 billion. This year, it's on track to lose $1.5 billion. Earlier this year, if you remember, the federal government provided $1 billion injection to keep the corporation operational. In the second quarter of 2025, which is the last quarter, we're in the last month of the third quarter. So the last quarter that's been tabulated has been the worst quarter in Canada Post history, where they lost $407 million. And as they mentioned in the video, the corporation is losing about $10 million every day. It's time for us to seriously consider privatization because those losses are not sustainable. They can't compete with the private sector. Why can't they compete with the private sector? Because the fucking government don't run businesses properly. They can't even turn a profit with Via Rail when they're basically the only train system in Canada. Never forget, guys, the government doesn't make money. The only money that they get is through taxation. When I worked for the man, I worked with the federal, provincial, and municipal. And how many times was I told on the job that, hey guys, just come back in February. We'll know how much money we have left in our budget. Well, yeah, and because we don't want to lose our budgets, we're going to buy some shit so that next year we have more money, not less, even though we don't need it. That's the government. So they're not efficient at anything.
We've discussed crown corporations and the problem with them many times. The issue is private companies, or as at least, companies not owned by the government, they have to turn a profit. They have to make disciplined business decisions based on the actual market conditions. Crown corporations live in a fantasy world where they don't have to factor in market conditions. They can just give bonuses to whoever wants them because they know if they run into a loss, government's going to backstop it. And that's me and you. Incompetence and inefficiency is built into the model. Mail is one of those things, like, it does provide a service. You do have to make sure that all Canadians have access to mail, and private companies generally are not going to, it's going to be prohibitively expensive to send packages to, the most remote parts of the country. And so I kind of see then where government has a role to play with the Canada Post crown corporations, but all the other ones like Via Rail, Well, like, why does that need to be a crown corporation? Cut it free. And if they sink, they sink. That's the market.
Here's a great comment. I don't remember ever seeing you before today, David, so welcome aboard. I'm a 30-year retiree postie. I suspect that most do not want to strike. The CUPW union is a Marxist organization, and they use coercion and threats to force us out on strike. You know, it's interesting you say that because the minister responsible for Canada Post made the announcement today, and I think it was within 2 to 3 hours of the announcement, Canada Post is already saying we're on strike. So there's no fucking way that that was put to a vote. So you might be right. Good for you for letting us know, because you probably have something. I was just thinking, how did they ever get a vote in that fast? There's no way. There's no way that within 2 to 3 hours they had a union vote to say, are we going on strike or not? I have a big problem with unions personally. I think they're a sham. It seems that most of the time, all they do, just like the federal government, they bloat everything. They make everything bigger, convoluted, very expensive. And those guys don't want to lose their jobs. So they have to make you believe you need them to be there to defend you.
Of course.
They have, you know, like we've been saying with NATO. NATO's a hammer, and because it has nothing to do right now, it looks for nails.
I kind of feel like I'm sitting where I often am on this show, to the left of you, but to the right of, you know, the political left or the mainstream left. But I differentiate between public sector and private sector unions. I don't think government jobs need a union. And for the same reason and mechanism as a crown corporation thing, they can demand whatever they want, and government will give it to them. They're not incentivized to actually negotiate. And when the public sector union gets a good deal, that means by definition the government got a bad deal, and they usually get bad deals, and we're the government, right? That's our money. As far as private companies go, I think they're necessary for some of these like major, super powerful, you know, billion-dollar corporations for to have any power in any negotiation.